Hey everyone, Tala here. Staying healthy, staying happy during quarantine, and I want to do the same for you guys. So today I want to talk about some really pressing issues that I feel are very important while we're quarantining. Number one, I want to talk about the consequences to our psyche. Number two, what is happening to your subconscious. And number three, how and what to do to feel better. It's simple, it's free. One of them is really primal. So stick around for that. So first of all, let's talk about quarantining consequences to your psyche. When we start to isolate, we can start to become very bored, and that's easy to overcome. But we can start to get really anxious. We can start to get stir crazy, as people say. And that's when people start taking risks. You may figure, well, I haven't gotten sick so far, so meh, I won't wear the mask. Or I'll bring the mask with me. Or I'll do this and that. I'm going out once in a great while, and I'll see people with the mask pulled down below their nose. Or I'll see them wearing it under their chin. Yesterday I saw people that just didn't have masks on at all. Yes, I am one of those people that will say something. I know people are going out, it's uncomfortable to breathe in, and it's hot to breathe in, but you don't want to be taking up a hospital bed, and you don't want to stay home with this stuff. You don't want to get this right now. Some people are saying, no, I want to get it now and get it over with. Okay, great. But if you do get it, say you get it, you handle it, you get over it, you can still get it again, because there are many cases where people are getting it twice, and the second time it's much more harmful and it's much more dangerous. So really the easiest thing to do, or the best thing to do, is try to avoid it at all costs. Another aspect of this is, and I mentioned this to people I saw out in public that said, oh, it's so hot, or oh, it's hard to breathe. My best friend is a nurse, and now that they finally have their PPE, their personal protection equipment, she has to wear a surgical mask, an N95 mask, a surgical mask over that, and a face shield, and they have to wear it for 12 hours straight. They're not allowed to take it off to have a sip of water or eat food. It is 12 hours straight. She is starting to get pressure ulcers on her face because of this. So if those people have to go through this 12 hours at a time, and however many days a week that they're working, and we're feeling uncomfortable because we have it on for 25 minutes while we're in a store, or for an hour, it's not fair. Just think of that perspective, because the less we wear them, the more they have to. Think about that, okay? So please have compassion. Please be smart about this. I implore you, and I thank you. And you know it's the right thing to do. You know, don't listen to the political stuff. It's not about that. Listen to the science. Listen to the medical experts, okay? Don't politicize this, because guess what? COVID-19 is not politicizing this. Doesn't care who you vote for. Be smart about it. Listen to the facts. Another thing to do is to stay as healthy as possible. So a new routine, because that's one of the things that is really affecting us, is getting out of our routine. Implementing some healthy routines and even some goof-off routines are extremely helpful, and they're great for the mind, body, and especially spirit. I've been on this gut cleanse, and you know what? Ever since the quarantine hit, I started eating less and less healthy food, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get back to this. So I just snapped myself back out of it, because guess what? Unhealthy food actually gives you less energy, and that's gonna lead to depression and a suppressed immune system. So you want to stay as positive as possible in all ways. You want to say positive energy, positive thoughts, positive physically, and that's the way you're going to get through this. So I try to eat as healthy as possible 5 or 6 days a week, and then I give myself 1 or 2 cheat days. And let me tell you, I had wheat, which I'm very affected by. It's a huge inflammatory. And I had wheat 2 days ago, and yesterday I had a really hard time walking. It seems like the longer I'm off of wheat, the more it affects me when I go back to it. So when I say it actually makes you feel better, it actually makes me physically feel better. I also had trouble sleeping that night. I ate fast food. I shouldn't say never. I hardly ever eat fast food. I ate fast food. And man, did I pay the price. So I'm like, you know what? I could have even made those tacos better at home. That's something you can implement, a healthy habit. So starting to learn how to cook different things, getting creative with what you have in your cupboards is excellent. Let me tell you, I've come up with some great stuff. And I've always kind of done that. The less I have in the house, the more creative and fantastic meals I come up with, it seems. When you have, everything you need right there, it's really easy to just fall into a bad routine. So this is building healthy routines. Number 2 is stay as informed as possible. Stay informed on what is happening and keep it from a trusted source. Again, apolitical, like non-political information. Do not get this from any political figure, okay? Because they are all politicizing this and it dilutes the information. We really need strong, clear information. So listen to scientists, listen to the medical community, and for other news going on or what the state laws are or your local laws, local news, it usually does not politicize the information like this. So we need this information now. I would say try to watch your local news during the day, like I think they come on at 12 noon or 11:30, and then again in the evening. And I always tend to watch the last one because more news may have come in during the first 2 viewings. So around 6:30, 7 o'clock you get into world news, and that's good to see too. But you want to keep it factual and you want to keep it medical and scientific. And then you're going to actually know what is expected of you, our local laws, because I know a lot of people don't realize that it is strongly suggested. Actually, I think he put it into, our governor put it into effect a couple of weeks ago, that if you are in public and you cannot keep social distancing, you have to wear a mask. So you don't know if you're going to be able to keep social distancing or not if you're out in public. You don't know who's going to walk out of a door or around a corner or whatever. You don't know who's going to come closer to you than 6 feet. Wear your mask. I want to say one more thing. I strongly believe that this is airborne. And I have my reasons for believing this. As I said, my best friend is a nurse. And when COVID was first starting up, the CDC was going to release that it is airborne. A corporation had lobbyists, and they sent lobbyists down there. Well, not a corporation, but an association of privately owned facilities. Sent lobbyists down there to lobby against the CDC, stating that it was airborne. And they fought to get it reduced from airborne to droplet. How do I know this? Because there were nurses from all over the country that went down there to fight against the CDC caving in. They wanted to keep everybody informed, but there were so many more benefits to private facilities of many different kinds and even the economy if they said it was just droplet. They wouldn't have to provide as much PPE, personal protection equipment. People wouldn't panic as much in the streets, so to say. for them to roll it out slowly as they did. And if you hear now on the news, they're saying, oh, well, it can linger in the air for 4 to 6 hours. A couple weeks ago, it could linger in the air for an hour. A couple weeks before that, it was still just droplet. It is airborne. Also, the way that they are treating this, they have to put people in a negative pressure environment. You only do that if something is airborne. So people need to really start taking this seriously. I just want you guys to be safe. And I'm informing you of this not to freak you out, not to make you scared, to keep you informed. Because if you are properly informed, then you can take the proper steps to keep yourself healthy and happy. Okay? You know what confines you need to stay within, and then you work within that. Okay? Let's not lose focus. This is step 3. Let's not lose focus. Okay? Stay focused and stay prioritized. Right now, your priorities are food, water, shelter, and medical, and access. And what do I mean by access? Access to those other things. So if you don't have a vehicle, or make sure your vehicle is running, go out every once in a while. You have to drive it around for a little bit. Like, don't let it just sit there and it isn't working. It doesn't work. It doesn't benefit the vehicle if you just start it for 20 minutes and then turn it off. It helps if you go for like a 20-minute drive and then bring your car back. If you're going to fill up gas, please, even if you have gloves on, grab a paper towel or bring one with you and use the pump through that. So I'm actually using leftover plastic bread bags that, you know, I make sandwiches for my boyfriend, for him to go to work. Thank goodness he's still going to work. But I'll use the leftover plastic bread bags, and it's a sleeve all the way up to here, even with my gloves on. So if I have to pump gas, you can grab the pump right through the bread bag. If I have to get stuff from the grocery store, I still have my gloves on, but I put the bread bag on up to here. You can even put an elastic around it so it just stays safe. And then once you're done with it, you grab it from the inside, you pull it off, and now it's inside out, and you can crumple it up and throw it out that way in recycling. But that is an additional layer, and it's a great use. I'm saving a lot of my plastic because we need the plastics right now to really help prevent the spread. Number 4, prevent or decrease boredom. Now, I'm known to say there is never a boring situation, there's only boring people. So I don't want to insult anyone though. So it's really, there's never a boring situation, there's only a lack of imagination. Oh, I just rhymed. How cute is that? Okay, never a boring situation, only a lack of imagination. If you're waiting in a space, I'll make up songs in my head. I will start to do rhymes. Let's say you are stuck in a blank room with nothing. Okay, that's a seriously boredom-stricken area if you let it. So I always think of things that I can do just with my mind or just with my body. And if I want to do some stretches, or let's see if how long I can stand on one foot. Like, I always think of these things that I could do if I was ever stuck in a white padded cell, I guess. Or solitaire or something like that. But thank goodness we're not in that situation right now. And if you are, you probably aren't able to watch this video. So my heart goes out to those who are in solitaire in any situation. However, there are so many things you can do. Now remember, setting up routines, doing healthy foods if you can, focus on your necessities, prioritize, and decrease boredom. You can make up songs, you can do poetry, you can do some new form of artwork or an old form of artwork. Find what you have around the house and start creating. Even if you start gluing together macaroni like you did in kindergarten and making macaroni montage or collage. Yeah, collage. Learn something new. Even there's a ton of free classes online, and I'm finding like languages, engineering, physics, all kinds of stuff. Harvard University offers some free classes online, believe it or not. So you don't have to spend money. And let's face it, binge watching stuff, but it gets old after a while. And, you know, playing games on your phone, but you don't want to just do that because it lets your mind go to mush and you don't feel very accomplished. Believe me, I play my Candy Crush and my design home just like anybody else. However, you want to do something productive every single day. I've given myself the basics. I have to at least make the bed, do the dishes, make dinner. Oh, do meds for my cat. Do 15 minutes of something physical, even if it's just stretching and oming. Do something for mind, body, and spirit every single day. Also, don't edit your joy. Remember that from the other videos? Get silly, you know, and take advantage of the time off. If you get to sleep late, sleep late. You know, it's good to have guidelines, but they're guidelines. They're not strict, hard and fast rules. So now is the time for us to reprieve a little. So I have to say, I want to know if anybody else has kind of felt this coming for years, because I have, and about 12 people I know just off the top of my head, we've all kind of felt that way, that something was coming. This is a big time out for everyone, because guess what? We've let things get out of hand. We have let things get out of hand environmentally. Well, coronavirus came, and now China can see blue sky for the first time in years. There are fish in the Venice canals. Birds are coming back. Animals are thriving. So things are starting to thrive without us mucking it all up on a constant basis. So let's take note of that. Let's really take note of how impactful our footprint is. Another aspect of this is it is a perfect time to do shadow work. And I mentioned this before, and I've been looking to put together a shadow work class. So I am now diligently doing. I will figure out how to do this online with people. And some parts of it are going to have to be one-on-one, because we get very deep and very private, and that will be respected.